All right, so this is the right side of my board. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a double USB-C jack here. Okay, the double jack. This is really nice because now I can have my iPad up top, and then the bottom one is going to be an auxiliary that I could use for something else. I actually use this for my interface right now, but I have plans to go the interface on the other side, on the left side eventually. So I'm going to place this in, and I do have it. I have pilot holes drilled already. So this was actually the perfect fit until I painted and some of the paint got in there. So I have the pilot holes, so let me grab the screws and we'll screw this one in. Okay, now I do have to use like the eyeglass, the small screwdriver here, because these screws are incredibly tiny. Don't try to do this without drilling pilot holes. It's a disaster. And also hand tighten. Don't use a drill to do something like this. You can easily break the plastic on these. So now I'm going to reverse it, and we're going to do the other side. On the other side, we have two. Let me clean that off a little bit. We have two USBs, and these are just standard one USB. So when I put this in, try to line up those pilot holes as best as I can, and do the same on the other side. These fit really tight now, but that's okay. And I'll go ahead and I'll screw these in. Again, this one is going to be my power delivery, so I can plug this into a wall and it'll charge the iPad as well as charge up everything going on the inside. This one's going to be auxiliary, but eventually it's going to be my interface. So this is going to go out to the interface, which is going to be connected to my mixer board and all that stuff. So I can keep that separate and keep my setup pretty clean. You can see that they are now fastened. I got some nicks here already, but this is going to get used hard, so I'm not really worried about it. So now we have our USB mounts on the outside. Let's start connecting them on the inside. Okay, so we have our enclosure here, and I am using the U-Green power hub here. And the important thing that you want to look at is this one right here. Power delivery. Your power delivery is what's going to allow you to not only power everything, but also deliver power back to your iPad, which will allow you to charge it. Really awesome. So in order for that, it needs to be the host. So this has to go where my iPad is plugged in, which is right here. So that sits in like that. All right, and now grab some of my Anchor USB cables. And what I want to do, is I want to have this one go in the power delivery section, which is right here, and that's going to connect right here. So now I'll be able to plug my iPad into here. iPad goes here, and then power delivery on the outside here. And this one will be for auxiliary. So we have there. And I'm using this. I'm using a USB-A into a USB-C for the jack over here. The reason being is I'm using this last jack right here. This one's going for the actual retro Pi. So let's put that in here like that, and then that goes on the bottom. I will say, depending on where my interface is, I'll be using this. So like for now, I'll actually probably bring this over here and use this one for that, but we'll see. I'll play around with that. Not a huge deal right now. So this extra one is going to be for the Retro Loop Neo, and this one right here is going to be for the fun LED light strip that's going to go all around the bottom and really light this thing up like a spaceship. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, that's as simple as it gets. So now I can plug this in and test it, which I'm going to do to make sure. The weird thing about USB-C is sometimes you have to reverse these things, flip them. I try out you have 4 different variations that you can do. I love that Anker puts their logo up top, so that way the right configuration. So I'm going to get that all set up. We'll do some tests. We'll make sure that's all good. Just to prove my point real quick, when I look at this and you're like, it's plugged into the iPad, this should be charging it and working. Watch what happens. Take this out, flip it, boom, it works. So weird, man. Why does USB-C do that? Why are they messing with us? Anyway, you can see it's working here. So now I'm going to try the auxiliary power to make sure that's working as well.